What's good, fam? Teacher Eddie back with another reaction to Sam O'Nella. Why it sucked being a pirate. So this should be an interesting video because being a pirate actually did kind of suck. But of course, Hollywood has glamorized it as they have many other gangsters, all types of nefarious people to make it look like, man, that's sexy as all hell. Yo ho ho, it's a pirate's life for me.
Hey, little Jimmy.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you like Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah, it's alright.
So do you think it'd be fun
Not
to be a
really.
pirate?
Yeah?
Well, guess what? You couldn't be more wrong.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I know. At some point, every kid has dreamed about being a swashbuckling, cornshuckling, wife-cuckling, cocksuckling pirate, but trust me when I say,
I don't know. I don't think I ever dreamed about being a pirate. I guess probably because I get seasick. I've been on a boat twice, and both times were like near death experiences for me. It was terrible. But nobody ever mentioned the cocksucking. Like, man, what the hell, man? What kind of ship was I on?
it was really not all it's cracked up to be. First, we'll talk about the food. So one staple of the pirate diet was salted meat, usually wild oxen or pork. And I love jerky as much as the next guy, but this wasn't like a bag of Jack Links. In fact, it was probably closer in texture to your shoes than any meat you've ever eaten. In those days, you couldn't just snap into a Slim Jim. That's a modern luxury that we take for granted. Back then, the slogan was gnaw on a Slim Jim for minutes on end, grinding it between your molars while the gallons of salt turn your mouth into a desert until the mangled hunk of flesh in your mouth is just soft enough to be shoved down your greasy fucking pirate throat without tearing a hole. Another essential food item was known as hardtack. This was essentially just flour and
Oh,
water
yes.
baked into a cracker-like brick. Beyond the fact that it was totally flavorless, hardtack was also extremely dense, to the point where pirates would often have to slam their fists down on it in order to break it into pieces small enough to fit in their mouth. As long as it was kept dry, hardtack almost never spoiled, although it often became infested with weevils. Excuse
Yes.
me, sir? I'm a vegan, so can I have a new piece? One without any of Mother Nature's beautiful creatures in it? Thanks. Wait a minute, is this gluten-free? This better be hemp rope. Nah, but the weevils didn't make you
Holy crap. Salmonella. Oh my god, I love you. I love you so much.
Wait a minute, is this gluten-free? This better be hemp rope.
This better be hemp rope. Oh my god. Vegan teacher flashbacks.
Nah, but the weevils didn't make you sick or change the taste all that much, so, and this is true, the crew would just eat it in the dark, so that way they couldn't tell if they were eating a normal chunk or a weevily one. Then there's the
Yeah, so as far as the food goes, a lot of students sometimes ask me, well, they're out at sea, so wouldn't like fish and seafood be readily available? Well, yes and no. The issue with, fishing and trying to get shrimp and lobster and whatever else is the fact that it took too much time, right? So they didn't really have the luxury of time to just, sit around and fish. And plus, it's really not going to feed a lot of people because, as Salmonella is going to mention right now, crowding was a huge issue, which also led to a lot of disease and death and everything else. So really, pirates, if they were smart, when they would steal from other ships, they would steal their cattle. So this way they can keep cattle on board. Sometimes they would keep even chickens on board for the eggs and to eventually eat, of course. But basically, much like everything that pirates had to do, it wasn't as much stealing for riches and gold and, all the stuff you see in movies. It was really stealing just to survive day to day, to get the daily necessities, whether it be drink, beer, alcohol, water, food from other ships. That's really what they were doing most of the time.
crowding. So pirate ships typically packed in as many crew members as possible, because more pirates means more manpower when you go to board an enemy ship. Of course, the downside to that is that you're basically like a bunch of hairy, unwashed sardines. Let me illustrate what a typical night below deck was like. So you're sprawled out on the damp, musty wood floor. Everything's pitch black, you can't see a thing. The smell of the filth and the mold forces you to only breathe through your mouth. Suddenly, your left hand feels wet. Probably just seawater leaking through the hull. You sniff your hand, nope, no, that's piss. You feel
It's
something
piss.
furry rub up against your elbow. It was either the body of a diseased rat or the beard of your diseased crewmate. Either way, that's probably where the piss came from. Some guy's moaning loudly in the next room. Hopefully he's just jerking off, because if he's dying, that's one more body to deal with in the morning. Rinse and repeat for 8 hours, and then it's daytime. The poor diet and cramped conditions led to disease being a huge problem aboard pirate ships. The most well-known of these diseases is scurvy, where you don't get enough vitamin C. When scurvy first begins, you just kind of feel tired all the time, no big deal. Then you get weird spots on your skin and your gums start bleeding. This progresses until all your teeth fall out and all of your body's mucous membranes start gushing blood and pus, causing you to die. So that's a lot.
Jesus. Man. I knew scurvy was bad, but goddamn. That's a terrible way to go, man.
Of fun. There were tons of other diseases too. I won't go through.
Okay, dick rot, jungle dick rot, dick sniffles, jungle dick sniffles, rotten dick jungles. But yeah, syphilis, tuberculosis, yellow fever, malaria, typhus. Again, cramped living quarters. Again, like Salmonella said, packed in like sardines. Hygiene is out the window. There's absolutely no hygiene whatsoever. Everybody stinks to high heaven. Human waste everywhere. So diseases are going to spread like wildfire. But also malnutrition, lack of vitamin C. I mean, it was not fun being a pirate at all. It's not like Jack fucking Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean, swashbuckling and all that stuff. And the battles really weren't all that sexy either, like they make them seem in movies, man. Nobody was swinging off ropes and shit.
Through them all, but here's a few honorable mentions. Also, some people say that alcoholism is a disease. I might just be disturbed, but that's one sickness I could definitely get down with. If it is a disease, then yeah, just about every pirate had this one. If anything, though, I'd call that one of the few upsides of pirate life. Finally, there's the combat. So you've gone through all these disgusting, horrible living conditions, but at least you can enjoy the thrill of battle, right? Swinging from rope to rope, sword in your mouth, long, intense saber duels, that kind of thing. But that's typically not how it went down. For one thing, when pirates boarded a ship, 9 times out of 10, they just surrender immediately. Because what are a bunch of well-groomed merchants going to do against a horde of disgusting barbarians? If the defending ship did decide to fight back, though, the resulting brawl wouldn't be anything like the movies. It'd be way worse, like immediate R rating. Because pirates rely a lot on brutality, both because they don't have much real training, and because it scares the shit out of people. If you were a deckhand on an invaded ship and you were stupid enough to fight back, you wouldn't be dancing around doing flips and shit, none of that. Instead, they'd probably shoot you in the stomach with a flintlock pistol, kick you to the ground, chop off your shoulder blade with a hand axe, gouge out your eyes with a marlin spike, wind your intestines around the prow, and then toss your twitching body overboard. And that's
it definitely sounds worse than scurvy. I'll take the scurvy instead.
only a slight exaggeration. Honestly, if Jack Sparrow got attacked by actual pirates, he wouldn't last a second. It's kind of like a used car salesman going to prison, like, I'll be fine. If anybody tries intimidating me, I can get out of it with my quick wit and charming personality. Boy, you look real pretty from behind. Oh wow, I'm boned. So yeah, in short, if you're thinking about pulling a Captain Phillips anytime soon, I'd advise against it. That's all for today.
Yeah, at least Captain Phillips did show somewhat a more realistic life of a pirate. It wasn't sexy. It wasn't anything to be celebrated. You didn't leave that movie going, man, I want to be a pirate. A pirate's life is much like I said in the beginning, you know, Hollywood glamorizes these lifestyles of, you know, outlaws and criminals, whether it be, you know, the Bonnie and Clydes and the John Dillingers, or gangsters like Al Capone. And, you know, we celebrate these movies, you know, cowboy movies, mafia movies, pirate movies. But at the end of the day, the actual living day to day is not fun at all. I mean, most, you know, people who I know who are in that type of lifestyle, they're basically saying, man, I can make more money really working at Walmart if you break down all the hours I have to put in for the amount of money I make. And because you have to kick up to your bosses, you have to kick up to your capo, you're kicking up most of your money, and then the rest of your money you're spending on gambling and whatever vices. And at the end of the day, you got nothing left aside from the actual mafia bosses, right? The regular mafia dudes aren't that wealthy at all. That's why, you know, a movie like Goodfellas depicts that lifestyle perfectly. Yeah, they make money, but they spend it like crazy, and then they got nothing left. And the actual day-to-day monotony of, you know, living that type of lifestyle, also pirates, they weren't meant long for this world either. They either died from, again, disease was the big one, or if they were wounded in battle, right? There wasn't any. It wasn't like there was a medical bay on board the ship. You know, their wounds would fester and rot, and they would get gangrene, and they would die. There was also a lot of, you know, you're packed on the ship like sardines with just a bunch of dudes. So you can imagine the violence, that would sprawl out, and sometimes they would just kill each other. So living the life of a pirate was definitely not sexy at all. It's not like it is in the movies or anything like that. But Salmonella again knocks it out of the park. Great video. We miss you. Hopefully someday you shall return to us triumphant like the second coming. But yeah, so this was a very interesting video. Really enjoyed it. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section, of course. Let me know any other videos you'd like me to react to. And I've been Teacher Eddie, and I'll catch you next time. Fam! And as always, shouting out Teacher Eddie's Patreon to keep things running here. Starting with the top Chancellor's tier, Elena G, Alex, Cuckles, Kiara, John Alonzo, Naval Colt, and the Hollow King. The Principals tier, Addison Lynn, Blue Sank, Chad A, Chris H, Chrissy, Clement, Freeman, Laura, Lord Gandalf, Moody Kakari, Nathan M, Quiet J, Rachel H, Rob N, Robin B, and Vijandra. I've been Teacher Eddie, and I'll catch you next time. Fam!